Aloha and welcome back to the CO2 Rundown. I'm your host, Chad Owens. So much to be excited about, but yeah, you see it. The number one reason we are all fired up on this Monday is the Rainbow Warriors are 1-0. They took care of business on the road in Fresno. We're going to talk more about that later. Look, I want to give a huge shout out and congratulations, to our Week 6 Football Fever winner, Jim Obermeyer of Kailua. He's $500 richer. Look, I'm saying it every single week. You guys got to join in on the action. Go pick yourself up a Honolulu Star-Advertiser newspaper, wherever you can get those from, anywhere. Pick it up at Long's. Get your ballot. Compete with myself and the rest of the panels to really get that money. Let's go. Shout out to our sponsors for making that possible and for making this show possible. Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Windows Hawaii, Hawaiian Telecom, and Long's Drugs. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today. Let's dive on in to the first quarter. In the NFL, so many amazing stories, so many things happened this week, a lot of great games. I want to start off by talking about Antonio Brown signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this was sort of destined to happen. If there was a team that was going to pick him up, it was going to be Tom Brady and the Bucs. I'm excited to see a rejuvenated Antonio Brown hit the field this next game. Look, the Seattle Seahawks and the Cardinals, I said it last time, the Cardinals are an underdog team that was demanding respect. And, them winning a thrilling overtime game over the Seahawks, I think, got them their respect. And Cleveland, in the Battle of Ohio, defeats the Cincinnati Bengals. Baker Mayfield went off 5 touchdowns, game-winning touchdown pass at the end. And the Atlanta Falcons are just finding ways to lose games that they should win. Todd Gurley scores when he really should have just went down and killed the clock. The Lions go down and take advantage of that mistake, and they end up winning that game. And like I said, a lot of good games going on over the weekend. The Steelers remain unbeaten in a game of 2 unbeatens as they defeat the Tennessee Titans. The Steelers have a short turnaround as they have to travel to Baltimore to play the Ravens in what will be the top game next Sunday. We had plenty of local guys playing yesterday as well, and look, make sure you guys take a look at all the rest of the NFL, the local NFL stars in the C2 page of the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. With that, let's jump on in to quarter 2. After that crazy Game 4 finish in the World Series Saturday night, Sunday was much more of what you expect to see in a postseason game. The Dodgers won 4-2 to take a 3-2 lead in the series. Today is an off day with Game 6 set for tomorrow night. The Dodgers get 2 shots at winning it all for the first time since 1988. This has been an amazing series so far. You never know who's going to win or make the big play. I think it's going to be great, man, if LA wins. The Lakers won. I think that city just deserves, more champions. And, like I said, the Dodgers got a couple chances to get it done. And look, that wraps the second. And going into halftime, again, we've got a lot of UH football to discuss. And I had the opportunity of, again, speaking with Steven Tsai, post-game to get some of the reactions and follow-ups from quarterback Chevin Cordero, Coach Todd Graham, and their experience playing in their first COVID game with no fans. With that, a lot of players can kind of like get lost in that moment. Steven talked about, arriving at the stadium. There was cardboard like people in the stands. They were pumping sounds of cheers, and to me that can kind of mess on your mental as a player. That's something different, and UH wasn't affected. They defeated the Bulldogs, in my opinion, with ease, and they looked extremely well let's head on over to that interview. All right, Steven Tsai, thank you so much again for joining us here on the Studio 2 Rundown. Wow, I mean, what a game, what a performance by the Warriors. What are your initial thoughts of the game?
Well, first of all, it was great for them to even play football this year. There's so much talk they weren't going to play and anything like that. To actually play, it was a little bit weird because it was an empty stadium, and except in the end zone, they had cardboard cutouts of fans that you could put up there, and that was kind of strange to see. But the sound was amazing. It sounded like the right decibels made it sound like it was a real game. But you've been to Fresno; it's a crazy place to play. It didn't have that crazy feel to it, but still, anytime you can win in Fresno, it's a huge win for Hawaii.
Man, 1-0. I mean, what are your thoughts on Chevron Cordero? I mean, he looked like he was able to just run all over these guys. He presented, I think, more of a threat. And I think moving forward is going to open up more of the passing game. But I thought he played an excellent game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he did. He managed the game well. No interceptions. He didn't throw a touchdown pass, but he scored 2, and he really used his legs. And he used it a smart way. He used it to get yards and if you need to run out of bounds, he did. But he's got such a knack of for a skinny guy, just a knack of knowing how to take a hit or when to go down. And it's kind of I guess that's a feel thing you got to have. And he's really got that feel. He just knows how to play the game and how to keep himself safe, because there's no real backups behind him. I don't think anyone behind him is taking a snap in the game. So it's Chevron's show, and he's really, really stepped up.
No, that's awesome. And, I'm happy for Coach Todd Graham. I mean, I know you got a chance to speak with him after the game.
Yeah.
He became the first, coach since, 1987 to win their debut game?
Yeah, especially on the road, right? Too.
On the road, yeah. What was that about? What was Coach Graham's feelings post-game?
Well, he was just happy, and he's been around a long time. This is his 5th head coaching job, and the one thing he's kind of learned is you got to be a little bit balanced. I know he promised that he was going to have a lot of the run and shoot elements, add a little bit of the air raid, which has a lot of passing, and some running. But he said they just weren't really moving the ball or getting into a groove on offense with the passing game. So he said, you know what, just turn around, and if they're going to put like a 5-man in tackle box, and everyone else is dropping in coverage, he said just attack the front, and that's what he did. He turned to the running game. He got a lot of great running from Miles Reed. Calvin Turner, he was a quarterback at Jacksonville. They dropped the program. He came over here. He really stepped it up as a wildcat runner and as a running back, and Day, the new running back that they got, Day Hunter. And so it's just a lot of great running, and that's kind of like sort of how Hawaii's always been known as a power team and aggressive team on defense. They became an aggressive team on offense.
Man, that's exciting stuff. And, from what it looks like they've got a lot of weapons all over the field. I think it's going to be tough for opposing defenses to really, plan for this offense, especially that they're showing that they could have a ground attack. So with that, after this first game, seeing, how we played, what are your thoughts for, the remainder of the season? What's I know I'm excited. What are your thoughts there?
Well, they're in Denver right now because they're preparing for the game against Wyoming on Friday. And the one thing about a running game is that's pretty consistent. If you can play tough and everything like that, passing game is great, but sometimes it can be affected by the weather. Running game really isn't. And if you can have that running threat, I think that can help you on the road, and it can help you in really tough conditions. And it's snowing in Denver right now. I think they're expecting 7 inches of snow, and that's where they're going to be practicing this week until they get to Wyoming. So Hawaii's going to have to prove it's an all-weather team.
Wow, that's amazing. That's unique. I know they're getting fired up for that. Overall energy of the guys. What was it like? I guess pre-game and then during the game. Did it seem as if they were affected by not having fans, and then when the game started coming along and they got into the flow, that didn't even become an issue anymore? Did you kind of sense that there was any of that?
Yeah, well, Il Manning, the left tackle, said that when you first get there and you see the piped-in music and you hear the fans, we don't see any. He says it's really eerie and everything. But then football is a game played by people in front of you, and that's Fresno State, and they're at Fresno State, so they just focused on the game and what they need to do. And the other stuff, they could feel the presence of Hawaii fans, even though they weren't there. But just on the field, just playing for each other. I think that kind of guided them through that game.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I mean, look, Steve, I appreciate you for coming on and sort of wrapping out, post game. I think the fans got something to be excited about, and I've just been, taking to social media. There's been a lot of positive feedback after this, 1-0 start for the Warriors. I know there's, been a lot of negativity going on with the pandemic and no football, and then now we got the season. So I think it really sparked, a lot of positivity, and it put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces here in Hawaii.
I think so. I think people just wanted football and wanted, diversion. And they got that. They got something to kind of, wrap around and kind of help them through there. These are great times, but football makes it a little bit easier.
Oh, yeah, it does. It does. But anyway, Steve, thanks again so much for popping on here, being part of the CO2 Rundown. Good luck the rest of the way. You're staying up there till through this Wyoming game as well?
I came back. I'm leaving Wednesday, heading back. I'm trying to avoid the snow. That's the key. Stay away from the snow.
All right. Well, we'll touch base later. We'll probably talk about this Wyoming game for sure. But right on, Steve. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks again so much, Stephen Tsai, for that post-game interview. Look, I'm excited. I know you all are excited for this year's Rainbow Warriors football team, especially after that win and the way they won. I know we're so used to seeing them air it out in the passing game, but this is a game where they controlled it on the ground. Chevan Cordeiro didn't even have a touchdown pass. He did it on the legs, with his legs, excuse me. And you know what? All that's doing is adding a different dimension, a different dynamic to what other teams are used to from the University of Hawaii Warrior football team. So I'm excited for the rest of this season. Wyoming is up next. They got a lot to prepare for. Let's go, Bows. With that, let's jump on in to the third quarter. Here in the third, we've got more UH football insight for you. You guys want to make sure to check out Ferd Lewis's column where he shares some insight on UH's gamble to remain on the mainland this week and protect their bubble around their football team. No virus tests, so UH got into Denver just ahead of the snowstorm that socked in the mile-high city. He has a nice take on how the UH athletic director said they took one for the conference by playing back-to-back road games to start the season. The good thing about this is 4 of the remaining 6 games are at home. Ferd thinks the gamble could pay off big if they sneak into Laramie and get the win. Like I said, I think our football team, our home team, has a different dimension this year that we haven't seen. That rushing attack. And Chevan Cordeiro, counting him as one of the weapons on the offensive side of the ball, has a lot to really choose from. So I don't think we've even seen this entire UH offense yet. So I'm excited, man. GJ Keene, man, congratulations. You've done a great job. We're all excited. I took to social media to kind of see what the fans are saying. We're all fired up here. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for coming out strong, dominating the Bulldogs and, giving us something to cheer for, something to be happy about in this time. So mahalo again, congratulations again, and good luck in Wyoming. Guys, with that, as always, we are finishing strong in the fourth. We also have a story on the UH women's volleyball team. It won't be until mid-January that they'll be playing their first game, if there is one. But the women are starting to do a little more practicing as they prepare for a season in the fall. Robin Amo talks to the Star-Advertiser's Stephen Tsai at length about the trials and tribulations this team has faced. They are hopeful to play some non-conference games, but the Big West may not allow it. It will be an interesting few months for the women who are hopeful to return to the NCAA tournament set for the spring. Be sure to check out the full story in the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Look, that's it. That wraps up today's CO2 Rundown, ladies and gentlemen. But look, it is Monday. It's a Motivational Monday, and I haven't given you guys a nice quote in a while, so I got this one for you today. Here it is. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. That's from Roy Bennett. Thank you for that amazing quote. Guys, that is it. Make sure you guys continue to believe in yourself. As the Rainbow Warriors believe, we believe. And I just want to give another thank you to our sponsors, Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Windows Hawaii, Hawaiian Telcom, and Long's Drugs for being part of this show. And I want to thank you again for tuning in. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Aloha.